Off in their quest to win the First Division Championship. They're a very tough task ahead, as Dunfermline found to their cost last week here at Airdrie when they lost by 2 goals to 1. So Morton know they have a tough task in hand if they're to overcome this determined Airdrie lineup. There's Ryan Alexander, number 9 for Morton, with a long pass back to Dave Wiley. So Airdrie a very tough lineup, and they have a stalwart centre half in John McCormack, a former St Mirren and Dundee player who marshals this Broomfield defence. Played forward by McCormack, and that's too far ahead of Jerry Christie for Airdrie, so a throw to Morton. So there's Morton's leading goal scorer, 26-goal Rowan Alexander, and a man who certainly will be an asset to the Premier Division next season. Flood pulling it inside, McNamara making the challenge. And this time the offside flag halts the progress of Airdrie. Dave McCabe in particular. Bogue's free kick hanging in the air. Alexander timed that well. Here's Christie. Well tackled by McNamara. Now Hughes for Airdrie, through the middle for Flood. The layoff was intended for Christie. There's Laurie. And McCormack again sending it forward into that midfield area for Moore. Black gets it forward. Good build-up play this from Airdrie. And the shot in the end is well off target, but it certainly was promising, this move from Airdrie. Colin Lindsay it was coming forward, taking the layoff from Christie, striding into the gap and trying to test Wiley from long range. The header from Laurie, helped on its way by Moore. There's Jim Holmes. And the challenge from the back by Doug Laurie is penalised by referee Smith. So it's Jim Holmes again with the free kick. Airdrie finding that the wind is very difficult to harness going forward. Jim Holmes playing it in towards Alexander. He's beaten by Laurie. Now McNeil. Very talented left foot, John McNeil. Laurie not being tempted into any rash challenge. Back it goes to Holmes. That's a good out-swinging cross. Here's Alexander. And McEwen easing Bogue off the ball as he tried to get there ahead of John Martin. So good play this by Jim Holmes, taking the pass from McNeil, a good out-swinging cross. Alexander did well to nod that inside, and there was Bogue, shouldered off the ball by McEwen. Bogue waits for movement up front. So McNeil fouled by Black as he tried to come inside. Referee George Smith not happy with that little display of dissent from the Airdrie fullback. Well, Black undoubtedly playing with lots of exuberance. He missed much of the season with a bad knee injury, so he's finding the end of the season perhaps coming too quickly. Put in by Clinging. Morton challenged by Bowe, gets hooked in by Doak, but the whistle had already gone. So the goal is chalked off. 24 minutes into the match, and we'll see why from this ball from Ian Clinging. Now just watch the challenge on John Martin in goal. Well, that's why the referee's whistle went, and the first time volley from Doak beautifully struck, but the whistle chopped off the goal. And that's too far ahead of Dave McCabe. Airdrie will certainly be anxious to use the electric pace of McCabe whenever possible. Christie to Lindsay. McCabe. Pulling the top. So too did clinging for Morton. This is Lindsay striding forward, met by Hunter's challenge. It's one for Martin Hughes to chase. Being given no room by Tommy Turner. The two number 7s together in direct opposition. There's Flood. Now Moore. Getting away from Doak. And McNamara eases it back to Dave Wiley as Morton looked vulnerable for a moment in defence. Hughes sends it forward. Down goes John Flood. He was caught awkwardly by Jim Holmes. There's a free kick to Airdrie. John Flood appears to be in some pain. So the ball played forward with Martin Hughes. Flood set off in chase and collided there with Holmes. There's plenty of cover there for Morton. I'm sure that was accidental, but a free kick's been given and John Flood seems to be in a lot of trouble. That's Jim Holmes. 11 seasons at Capital after being freed surprisingly by Partick Thistle. And no stranger, of course, next season to Premier League football. So John Flood looks none too convincing as he hurtles forward into position for the free kick. Oh, Brian McKeown fancied his chances from long range, and you could see with wind assistance that would have been troublesome for Wiley had it been low enough. Struck very firmly by McKeown, and Wiley was very relieved to see that go over. Good play by McNamara. He's being fouled. The referee allows play to go on with Morton in possession. The advantage rule was applied intelligently by the referee. Here's Turner now to McNamara, looking for a shooting chance. Running into McKeown. There's Turner again, and this is Jim Bogue. This needs an accurate cross. And Bogue couldn't deliver it, so the goal kick it is to Airdrie. So the ball was played out there by Turner for Jim Bogue. He had space to make an accurate cross, but he couldn't manage it, and that sliced behind for the goal. A long one indeed. There's Flood underneath it, and Wiley comes to beat the ball out. That was good goalkeeping. Could have been dangerous. And indeed, it is the last action of the first half. No scoring in the opening 45 minutes. Except for one which was chopped off, and that came from a free kick from Ian Clinging for Morton, pumped high into the box. John Martin going for the ball, challenged by two Morton players. The ball broke to Martin Doak, who demonstrated a very good finish. The goal didn't stand, and that's why the half-time score remains Airdrie 0, Morton 0.